What's up, guys? It's your boy GRC every day, 11 a.m. Eastern, crypto in the morning. I am the biggest spaz in the known universe today. I cannot focus on one thing. I don't know why, and I don't really care because I do whatever the fuck I want. So that's how that goes. But, guys, we got Cosmo Jenkins. Obviously, Sam Stoltz still in makeup. We are ready to talk. I got a couple things I want to talk about. I've been listening to Cosmo Jenkins, so he doesn't even feel all this insight I have about talking to him. But I watched his episode, and then I actually watched one from like a while back. So there's going to be some talking points there. This dude I found this morning, that Mr. Jerry sent me a video of this guy losing all his money in Voyager, and then I watched all his videos, and they were great. So we're going to pull up a couple of those. Trying to get that guy on the show. I emailed him, hey, if you watch this show by any chance, come on the show. Guys, I'm going to drop a tweet below really quick. Make sure you share it out. We're running a tight ship around here. You know how I do. Look at the headband. When the headband's on, it's all about that money. Okay? Guys, this tweet right here, Cosmo Jenkins, we're talking about Hex. We're talking about the macro. We're talking about centralized exchanges today. And we're just going to talk about whatever. I'm going to KSB TV, guys. I want to run that ad. Can we run? I have to ask Bullish, though, if we can run it, because I don't know if it's preloaded. So let me ask him real quick about the golf tournament ad. We'll see what he says about that. Maybe we'll run it after if he's not sitting right at his desk. But KSB TV / golf. Jenkins, thumbs up. Do you golf or thumbs down? No golf for Jenkins. No golf for Jim Rat. But what does Jim Rat like to do? Run around and drink and talk to people. So, well, by drinking, I mean literally sipping like a bird, because I'll get drunk if I drink at all. But I'll be there covering live all the holes, KSB TV, guys. I will be there. Let's get Jenkins there somehow. Let's just get him there. See what happens. Let's get Jenkins there. Real quick, we have the version, I think Bullish is pulling it up right now. KSB TV / golf. You call Bud Light drinking? Yeah, that's what I kind of meant. I was like, the drinkers in here are gonna start calling me out. Let's play this real quick, if you don't mind, Bullish, once it loads.
Join Hex Ladies at the Pulse Masters Golf Tournament on September 5th, 2022. This event is the official kickoff to PulseCon Las Vegas. Individuals and teams of 4 of every skill level are invited to party with us on the golf course at the renowned Revere Golf Club. There will be 2 shotgun start times. This is an event you do not want to miss. Come mix and mingle with golfers and influencers from all over the crypto space. Visit ksb.tv / golf for more info and to donate. You can also donate to Hex Ladies on Cash App.
Muted. You're muted, dude.
You're muted. Damn it, dude. I just called myself official, too. I said, I am official. Go read my lips. I say, I'm so official. Bullish is way official. KSB TV official. That golf tournament, I'm going to make it so fun that everyone FOMOs that they're not there. I'm literally just going to make it happen like that. I don't know. I'm not much of a golfer, but all my friends are, guys. So if you want to join that, donate, or there's holes, like if you have like a crypto and you want to sponsor it, you can DM me and I'll put you in contact with them. Because you can actually advertise all your stuff there too. There's going to be a bunch of golfer crypto people there. I had to get that out, guys, because I know my ADD is not going to allow it. Otherwise, let's jump.
Where will you be on September 5th, 2022? Do not miss your chance to participate in the Pulse Masters Golf Tournament. This is the official kickoff to PulseCon, and the Hex Ladies need you to help get it in the hole. With any size donation, we will be willing and waiting to wash all of your dirty balls. The tournament takes place at the renowned Revere Golf Club with 2 shotgun start times. 7 a.m. best ball for you early dirty birds, and 1:30 p.m. scramble, sure to be an afternoon delight. So please consider donating to ensure your balls will be washed at our hole, and maybe you'll get your shaft shined as well. Visit ksb.tv/golf to donate and for more info on sponsorship levels, contests, and prizes.
You already know what time it is.
Crypt in the morning.
Crypt in the morning.
Crypt in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypt in the morning. Crypt in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypt in the morning.
Crypt in the morning.
Crypt in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypt in the morning. Crypt in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stake. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that just in case. Gym ready set me to show you the way.
D5 Pro. Yeah.
Crypt in the morning.
Crypt in the morning.
Crypt in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypt in the morning. Crypt in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypt in the morning.
Crypt in the morning.
Crypt in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypt in the morning. Crypt in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Yo, Jenkins, what's good, bro?
Wow, what an intro. This is crazy. Last time I was on this show, I don't think you guys had any of this. Now I'm fired up and ready to run through a wall.
Dude, I try to show people, not through example, because I don't know how to do any of that crap. But I try to show people, like, I like to have everything that I do. I like it to be high quality in like some way, shape, or form, whether that's just a little bit here, a little bit there. And the show has been a very great creative outlet, like, to do fun stuff. So it's been like interesting experience.
That was fun. That was really cool. I was actually impressed. And that ad for the golf tournament, that was actually funny. That was really cool. You guys caught me off
Thank
guard.
you.
I didn't expect
Thank you
all
for
that.
that. Thank you for that. And shout out to Wild SJ that she did the voiceovers.
Guys, please, biceps in the chat for Bullish. Please, just major biceps. Major biceps.
Yeah.
I want to talk. Let me just open it up. Let's just get this like back and forth going. I watched a video on this guy. First of all, Jenkins, I'm going to ask you a personal question. Don't answer it if you want to. Did you have any money in any of these things? I know whether it was a 1% or 0% or 5%. Did you have any money in anything that?
Cheers to the mason jar, Jenkins. Cheers, Dink.
Lemon water.
Yes.
That's nice. This is
I drank my tea.
water.
I drank my tea this morning.
Did I have
This
my
is
money
adult.
in what?
This is very adult vibes. Like, I might have to take this headband off for a second. Like, we're just getting busy. But anyway, Jenkins, did you lose any money at all, whether that just be a hair or a lot, in any centralized exchanges or anything like this?
No, actually, no. If I lost money, that was just me getting rugged by just being a degenerate. But not from at least it was me that lost the money. It wasn't a centralized exchange.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. Did you ever interact with the Celsius, or did you just never go down that area because you were making probably major gains and you didn't care? With like hacks and stuff.
No, I never dealt with Celsius or Luna or anything. Once I really got into the ETH chain and just realized you could just do your own work with your smart contracts, I just took it from there. Hex really introduced me to DeFi, like true DeFi, where I know I'm in full control of my full destiny in crypto, and then I kind of just swam off a little bit.
What else is true DeFi? What else is there? Like more than us, Jenkins. So remember this. Like, as we're speaking,
I don't know if I know more than you guys.
No, I know you have had more experience in the market than both of us in the crypto market. Period. End of story. I've seen you. I know what you talk about. I'm very good at studying, but that doesn't replace time in the market.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? And I know that because now that I've been through a whole cycle, I'm like, wow, I couldn't have known that before. I couldn't have, because you just have to get hit. But anyway, what was the question? Let's real quick.
I lost an entire Bitcoin through a centralized exchange.
Ooh.
When it's in a centralized chain, we call it a Bitcoin. So you lost a whole Bitcoin.
What was the price of Bitcoin when you lost it, Sam?
$100.
Okay, at least you're not like hurting a 69K loss or something.
Dude, imagine real quick, guys. Imagine being the biggest pleb in the world and buying a whole Bitcoin at 70K.
Yeah,
Like, imagine. Dude,
I know
how much
people that
money
did
is
do
that for
that.
the average person, though? That is that's their whole investment portfolio. They're giving it a shot. Michael Saylor's telling him to do it. Everyone's telling him to do it. They've worked so hard. They went to school. They did everything right. And now they're listening to Michael Saylor just to get the final FU wreck in your face. Never again will you invest in anything.
Yeah, I know some people that bought like 65 and close to 69, and these are like just old like boomer mentality guys that they know about like things like hex and everything. They know me. I'm in their life, so they know what you guys know. But they still made that decision of Bitcoin at 65. The one person in my life bought it like 67.8. I mean 65.8, and he's still holding until this day. He's got no choice because what's he going to do? Sell that thing for what? Was it at 20K right now? 22. So, I mean,
what do you think about this pump, this fake pump, this thing that's happening right now? Ethereum's gone up by 50% in the last month, right?
Yeah.
So
Is it over 1,500 right now?
I think it was this morning.
It's at 1532 right now.
And what was it, 900 or something and change?
It was lower than that for a minute, dude. I was like, oh, I was thinking about not liquidating some of it, but I was like, oh, Jesus, like, just the 1 or 2 ETH I have on account said it's just like for gas. I was even thinking like, oh, I probably should put that in USDC, but obviously I didn't do anything. I never really do anything. I always just think about it.
What do you think, Jenkins? What's up with this fake pump, or what's going on?
I wouldn't even call it like a fake pump. I just see it as like a bounce. I mean, everything melted hard recently. Obviously, even like Hex went down to 3 cents, and then Bitcoin went sub 20K, Ethereum went sub 1K. It just seems like a normal bounce. It does look. I mean, Ethereum's looking stronger than I expected. But I did make a tweet recently. It's probably like I think early July, like July 4th, somewhere around that time. Because I kind of expected some form of bounce, but I put in that tweet that I wouldn't be shocked to see Ethereum hit 15K or 1,500. At the same time, I was thinking that would happen simultaneously with Bitcoin going to 25, but obviously Bitcoin's at 22.6. It's not at 25 yet, but Ethereum's already kind of hit that little target. But it just seems like, I mean, it's a clear downtrend, and bounces happen whenever the price gets sold so low. Everyone's going to want to jump on that discount. So those bounces are normal, but I'm not a firm believer that this thing's over yet. It looks good. The sentiment's good. But when we talk about max pain, or at least me, when I talk about max pain in the markets, I think max pain is after you see this big dip, it sucks, but it's not max pain. It's like, oh man, we kind of rationalize, get used to the numbers. Then we get this little relief rally or a sucker's rally, whatever you want to call it. So people start getting hope, like, okay, it's over. We got past it. Then that next leg down is like max pain. It's like, okay, any hope you did have in the markets really gets washed away in that next leg. I think crypto still needs that. And part of my sentiment, this isn't coming from me. Part of my sentiment is just understanding that like there's a person named Richard Hart that kind of has been saying this for a long time where things are going. And he kind of knows what he's talking about, at least when it comes to crypto and prices. So part of me wants to believe that, we're getting close to the bottom, but there's just that rational mind in me understands that there's people that know a lot more than me that are expecting more. And when you see like these big influencers in crypto talking about the bottom being in, and these big exchanges, having people that work for them talking about the bottom being in, it's like, no, it can't be in yet. When everyone's telling you something's in, it's not. The same way these people are hyping up Bitcoin at, 60, 70K. So it's almost over, though. I think the bad part's out of the way, but I don't think it's over just yet.
Do you see the potential rebound of Ethereum greater than Bitcoin? Right, Bitcoin's up 20%, 10% or something like that in the past 45 days, or from the low point like 18.9 or something like that, and Ethereum's up from like 900 to 1,500. Is that probably or potentially because of the collateral that's used for these centralized lending protocols is primarily Bitcoin, and it's either tied up in like court right now, so to speak, you think? Or you have any thoughts on that?
I just genuinely think the flipping is going to come where Ethereum flips Bitcoin in market cap. It's not going to be more expensive than Bitcoin ever, but I just think it's inevitable. We got close to it last year.
It was close. Yeah. It was really close. People don't, even Hex was close to flipping shit. Like again, like 3x, 5x, 10x away at the time. Like
Yeah.
market cap wise, again, with low liquidity, that's like a weird number.
Yeah, we know Hex ain't flirting with the trillion in market cap, though. That's for sure.
Well, there's too many guys that don't have that much money that would love to have.
There's no way you're withdrawing a trillion. I mean, these market cap numbers are all BS, but at least for like, speculation, the flipping of Ethereum and Bitcoin, I think that's just inevitable. And I think we're seeing Ethereum and coins on Ethereum kind of react to these bounces, way stronger compared to Bitcoin. But that's because it's just, it's the world has evolved and the world's getting more into like your average person that jumps into crypto nowadays. It used to be like, okay, about Bitcoin, you buy Bitcoin because that's all you know. But now it's like, Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you're going to get involved in Ethereum because there's more things to do. You can have fun. If you want to be a degenerate and do whatever, if you want to build on there. I mean, there's projects on there. It's ever so evolving. There's Hex on there. I just think Ethereum's slowly going to just, flip Bitcoin, and then we're going to get that.
What do you think about these fees? Because I don't know enough really nuance to be able to, like, if Ethereum did a 3x from the top, roughly, like what would that do to the load? Like what can they do? Because there was times, normal times, not even crazy times, Sam, not even crazy, like normal day, normal, nothing going on, no crazy news, $700 fees for whatever. When it's like when things are just inflated, you like paying a $200 fee. I probably did that 50 times. Seriously, because it was worth it at the time, because shit would pump 300%. So you had to have your position. You were like $200. Yeah, but what if I missed a $17,000 move? And it was happening every fucking 3 weeks. So it's like this constant thing where when the market's so inflated, like how much ETH fees can there be before? And then is Pulse Chain, like I'm just asking, Jenkins, because you have a little more insight about what's possible probably than me. I'm just kind of learning, but we're all learning. What could Pulse Chain do to for real interrupt Ethereum? And when I say interrupt, just like market wise, like some people move over there.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a great segue question into like a Pulse Chain sales pitch, because it's like, yeah, just take the load off Ethereum and then you fix Ethereum fees. You got Pulse. That's a good.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's true though. It really is. I know it's all a sales pitch, and no one wants to hear that in a bear market. But that's kind of why it exists. Pulse Chain. I think the core idea behind Pulse Chain was just the fees. That was stopping Hex. I think in that bull run, Hexicans are paying like $2 million a day or something in fees or something. I can't remember the stat, but it was millions of dollars going towards ETH fees, not into Hex. That could have really pumped the price to maybe 70, 75 cents if you just
think about that premium. Think about if you had that premium on paper. Like if that premium existed somewhere, I know that would never be able to like be calculated directly. All the Hexicans that would have, if they had fiat right now, would be dollar cost averaging into Hex if they just had 75% of the money that they paid for ETH fees. 75%. That would be for some guys like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Even for me, I'm a pleb, dude. I probably spent like $3 or $4 or $5 grand on ETH fees in the bull market.
It's a lot of money, especially ending those stakes. That was nasty trying to end a stake last year.
Jenkins, what do you think of? So a lot of times I think of like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance, right? Is kind of like the where a lot of people congregate, right? You congregate on these three areas, and then I think of Pulse Chain, and I think of Pulse Chain is very, very similar to Binance in a lot of ways. On the one hand, it has the advantage because it's getting the free copy from everything. But on the other hand, Binance has this gargantuan of a company that's fucking expanding extremely quickly behind it, allowing users to adopt into BSC very, very quickly. What are your thoughts on like the differences between those two or that kind of thing? Because Binance, I've been kind of like trying to capture more thought leaders of people who have been in the industry a lot longer than I am. So I've been consuming some more of what CZ has put out there. And he seems to want to really protect users and educate, right? That's why there's if you go to like PancakeSwap, there's fuckloads of like informational shit over there, right? You go to Binance like University and there's, you can take master classes or this type of class or this type of class to educate yourself on the space. But Pulse Chain is not going to have this, right? And also Binance has this like bridge from fiat to crypto, and then they have BSC. Not that BSC is theirs, but they obviously have a good like influence on that. Can you
I want
talk
to know
about that
about your
whole-
experience with Binance as well and what you think about Binance as well, because it's kind of new information to me because I just never went there. And now I'm starting in the bear market just to research more. What do you think about, in general, these positive externalities of Binance and what you maybe don't like?
Yeah, I mean, I think Binance is doing really well. I think Pulse Change is going to kind of be like a replica of that. I think it's minus CZ. You replace him with Richard Hart, kind of the head honcho of things. You just know, like, CZ's kind of had his track record of being a little ingenuine or immoral with kind of certain things about how they went with people's funds and stuff, at least in the centralized part of it. It's a Pulse Chain is going to have more of an appeal to just like American users. I think a lot of crypto is based in America, so it's hard for an American user to really get down and dirty on the Binance Smart Chain without using VPNs and stuff. At least in my experience, it's been. But I think what Binance is doing is exactly what Pulse is going to do. Not exactly, but very similar. I just see it as like, I don't know if it's going to be like a competition between the two because they both have their own core group of like users that are kind of black or white about things. And then maybe a 5% of those people are going to actually use both of them. But what Binance is doing, at least in the Binance Smart Chain, how they're growing with everything in the Polygon network and all that. Like, I do like it. I really do. I don't mind it. When I first started getting into meme coins and stuff, it was through Binance, and I was getting smashed like left and right. That was another reason why, like, using Ethereum, I just felt safer because it wasn't as severe. But Binance was like, you can literally, there's times where I'd throw in like $60 or whatever into a meme coin. I think it would turn into like $1.2 million, and then boom, it's gone all in a matter of 15 minutes. It was just like the craziest, weirdest stuff ever.
What do you think CZ from Binance thinks about Richard Hart and the Ethereum network and potential? Do you think he might know about this?
Pulse Chain?
Since they manually put them after Terra Luna V2 on CoinMarketCap?
Oh, he's
Like,
100%. He's 100% aware of everything.
Yes, he is.
The entire industry is aware of what Richard Hart is doing. Like, it's been clear since Hex days, but this whole Pulse Chain thing, like, the thing about the industry, like, it's one thing to hate Hex and hate Richard Hart. I get it. Like, I understand it. But, like, if you gatekeep Pulse Chain, that just is going to show more about whatever industry or person or influencer than it is the actual, chain, because this is a whole nother chain that we're launching out, or that he's launching out, but I just think people, it would discredit their, it would discredit, like, you want to be a legitimate reporter or influencer. If you're trying to hide Pulse Chain from the world, you just can't. That's just a beast that's too big, has more mass appeal, easier to understand, and it's not so much just like a Hex, rug pull, scam, Ponzi, whatever you want to throw on it. It's an actual chain this time.
So it'll be so interesting because I think about that from an adoption standpoint, and I'm like, that's such an advantage to be able to have like the direct path to that. And I know like people have said that like somebody's going to create this shit for fucking Pulse, but I mean, to create something for Pulse that's really, 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 really awesome is cool. But then it's still like somebody else has a 5-7 year head start with Binance of like entering people into the ecosystem. And there's
I think that big factor is the US though, Sam, because that was one thing that clicked when he was talking that I never thought about because I don't use Binance. That US market could be, I'd love to look up the percentages of actually the volume in the US market, if that exists, to even a like ratio. But to know that people in the United States don't use Binance because it's not available, regular Binance. It's just not. It's a different server available in the United States, and I'm sure you just get KYC'd and wrecked on all of that. They probably just made it tailored to the United States. Everything else is probably just the better version of Binance, basically, or the more free.
Like, if you use Binance in the US, like, you could, but if you're trading or something, like, it's not even worth it. Like, you put $1,000 in, you might get a $20 profit, and they'll limit you at that on a good pump. Like, they don't let you leverage. I mean, which is good, I guess. Leverage is not good. Trading's not good. We get that. But just for the typical user, if you're going to use it, there's no reason. There's no incentive to use it.
What about providing liquidity?
I mean, I've never provided liquidity on Binance myself.
What about Uni?
On Uniswap, I've done it in Hex, but I haven't really done it too much. I wasn't early enough in Hex. I felt I kind of missed the God whale pump days and everything. So I'm one of those guys where I feel like if I'm not early enough into something, I'm not going to do it. And I know it's just like a bad mentality as a trader or market participant, but No, like I don't really provide too much liquidity. I kind of just do my thing. I know it's a safer, easier, more passive way of getting,
Safer, yeah.
extra dollars in your bag. But like me, like I just kind of do my thing in the charts. If I want to go get a quick bag, I'm gonna, do my little trading thing, and I'll get 10x what I need to in a matter of a few hours. I could lose it too, don't get me wrong, but like typically I'm winning more than I lose. And then when I finally take a loss, I just step back for a few weeks and I'm like, okay, let me just sit on my bag. And then whenever I feel the inspiration, I'll get back in. But
it's way more fun taking a loss on like 3% of your crypto bag when you don't have to like move fiat at all. And you're just like, it sucks. But in general, when, it's just about having money in crypto. Like you want to have some money, whether that's it. I'm on like the risky ball train where I have all my shit in USDC right now. Like I'm like Mr. like ready to get nuked by the hex fucking price. Like I'm just ready. Like go to 50 cents. I don't give a fuck at this point. I'm in USDC. I would rather have 5 times my bag if we drop down another 30-40% from when I sold it than just I have so many stakes in my opinion. For me, that number is different for everyone.
Yeah.
It's like if we pump, I'm gonna be fucking stoked out anyway. Like I'm gonna be stoked out. I will be pissed that I didn't have any liquid or as much, but you know what I mean. So I have all my stuff in USDC. What do you think about that strategy at this point? I know it's risky because you never know, but like, what do you think about like the USDC hedge for most, like for a Hexican that has stakes in a place where he feels comfortable?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think sitting on stables in a bear market is always good. I'm not the type of person that's like, 80% of your bag go to stable now. That's really like, even if a bear market, if Hex is at 50 cents and dropping all the way to 3, I just I don't want to take that risk on that much of my bag. But yeah, like a huge, I'm sitting on a lot of stables right now too, actually, USDC specifically. From the meme coin days, I was buying Hex at like 20 cents, flipping those memes into Hex, but then I realized like, yeah, Hex is probably going down more, so I kind of just sat on stables. So it's not a bad strategy at all. If you're sitting on stables in a bear market, you're not losing money unless you're, sitting on the ones that are rugging right now.
I wanted to ask you if there is a metric that you know of where in legacy, right, you can kind of track money flow and use that as a sentiment indicator to track like, how much money is getting added to the stock market versus like, sitting in cash type of thing. Is there a metric for the aggregate of the top 5, 10, stable coins of holders versus like how much of that is like flowing into stable coins versus how much is flowing out back into crypto or things? Because that would be a super interesting gauge to consider during times like this. Like I bet a bunch of the top holders are using this pump as exit liquidity, like to get rid of some of their shit and get back into USDC. If we believe like what RH is saying is accurate, that we're going to go down, below 15,000, right? Like, and that, have you ever heard of a metric like that where you could gauge the cash inflows and outflows from stables?
I'm sure there is, and like I don't know if there's like an exact metric that gives you the chart like that makes it sense. There might be. I'm sure if there's a metric like that, probably Wales Only is the guy to ask because he's the one that knows beyond the surface of all that stuff. But I think just kind of keeping your eyes peeled, following not the right people on Twitter, but like the people that have influence in the markets, these institutions, these banks, what are their positions, depending on, okay, what's the Federal Reserve doing with interest rates and stuff? That's kind of like the first indicator. And then how does like, an institution or JP Chase, like what are they doing with their positions in the market? You can kind of keep up with that. But for me, I mean, personally, I've never really gotten too into that. I mean, usually the sentiment, whatever the sentiment is in the world, that's what those institutions and banks are going to kind of follow. But for me personally, that's why I just look at charts, because whenever you see like big long wicks or like I call it like an institutional candle where like it shoots down, wicks hard, finishes negative, the next one engulfs it, that's usually an institution kind of getting their bid or sell order kind of activated. So that those wicks tell me that there's money sitting there. But in terms of an actual metric to see positions, I'm sure it's out there. I just never really put the time into figuring that out because I'm not too heavily invested in the stock market or those guys' positions. Crypto's nasty enough as is. So if you try to game crypto with like a strategy of a stock market institution or bank or something, it's not going to end too well. Because, yeah, you can get an 80% dip in 2 hours, and a bad dip in the market, in the real market's like 4% in a day,
You want this up or no?
Well, you had mentioned we were talking about users per nation, or like
Yeah, I
potentially in
wanted
the
to see
US.
this.
So this is from
What's the
C-
date if we have one? Oh, 2121. Okay.
So
this
a
is-
year old, a little bit less, where they have India has the most users in crypto, followed by US,
Is that
Russia,
per
Nigeria.
person?
The number of users or owners, and it's interesting.
That's Charles
Russia's
Hoskinson looking for that big bar.
this is interesting though, because reading through, I think we talked about it maybe slightly yesterday, and I'd like to hear Jenkins' thoughts on this as well. When you think about crypto, what is it solving, right? It is solving a lot of different intermediary problems where you have a central man that's just stealing part of the bag for people, whether that's in the simplest of transactions or something like far more complicated, right? Like I just refinanced my house, and this fee is $25,000 fucking dollars. You're like, this is stupid, ridiculous, right? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so it's solving this, but it's also allowing the quote like term unbanked to be banked, right? And when I was reading through the Chia network white paper here, they were talking about how the adoption in crypto is going to first take place at a much higher rate in third world countries, right? And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it, because I was like, oh, that's absolutely right. I completely agree with that, because people here in the United States are going to be tied mentally to the old system, and to allow themselves to change is going to be challenging, right? Because that's mental work. That's mental fatigue for people, versus somebody who's never had this before, and now they're able to actually have money in the sense that they can do transactions, versus like, everybody's got one of these things. Even if you're in, a third world country, you still have a phone of some sort. More, every place that I've been to 18 countries, So what are your thoughts on all that?
I think, like what you're saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And that's kind of the American mentality. And even with the government, too, you see kind of how hard they're trying, at least to make that attempt to crack down on crypto. And they're just going to drive innovation offshore to other places. So it's not a net positive for that old mentality. It's not good for the people. But the crypto use case, what you're saying, I think, the best use case in crypto is anybody with a little bit of money can make an investment off the power of their palm, right there in their smartphone. You can turn $20 into $100, in a bull market, at least, you could turn 100 into a few thousand. Like, anybody can do that. And I think that's the use case right there. Anybody that, is stuck or trapped in a job that they feel like there's no way out, there's no future, their country might not provide the opportunity. That's the use case. Get your hands in crypto. You don't have to invest in any type of stock market or go through like a bank or deal with people to help you get your, your stock set up. It's like, no, you just open up your phone, download, MetaMask, for example, copy and paste a smart contract, and you're in. That's it, So I think that alone, DeFi is key for that reason, just so you can stay in control. But even then, like, I don't like things like Coinbase. I only keep my money on there to transfer in and out. It's just my little, get my money to my bank, get my money to my wallet.
You don't stake your ETH on there?
Yeah, no, I should, right? I should sell.
Dude, it gives you the option, right, when you buy it to stake your ETH. Did you get like 3%?
Yeah, I mean,
why wouldn't you?
Think, you would think, but like the thing is, like, I still think it's necessary, because I feel like Coinbase is, in today's world, right here, right now, things like Coinbase are necessary for that person in a third world country that doesn't have access to anything. They don't even have a direction, but Coinbase will take care of them in the sense of, okay, get in there, buy Ethereum or whatever. And then as you're in, and if you own something and you're holding, like, say you have, $100, that might be a lot to you in Ethereum. You're going to pay attention to what's going on in Ethereum. Then you're going to see all the things built on it, the more opportunities. There's things like Hex and whatever, So I think, just having that, the use case of simply just being able to be in full control and use your money to invest no matter where you're at in the world, that use case alone is massive.
What do you?
Go ahead.
So I like that answer. And right, the so to speak, like under, say, on the bottom side of the literacy around finances, right? Because that's not just like in other countries, that's a lot fucking here as well. If those people, if we believe that those people are going to be probably the first adopters to, or like maybe faster adopters, this could be very interesting as it shifts, right? Because if you can have enough of those people get into crypto before like a lot of other big money who are holding on to that old belief in, then the shift economically speaking on a global scale, if you have say 1 billion extra users come in that are like way below on the financial literacy side to today's standards, and then they get in now, and then there's that pump, so they're holding some type of crypto, and all these people can get 100x or 1000x on whatever they're holding through the next bull run or 2 runs or something like that. I mean, the economic shift like globally to, you know, people that have never had money before could be really fucking impactful, like massively, from 20, 30, 40 years for certain people constantly thinking about trouble, money and having issues with money and having constant like problems with it. And now having the ability to like feel free, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think like the shift in economics is going to like move to like all the, for lack of better terms, the poor people are going to become the new rich. That's how a lot of people position that in crypto. Like,
but it's not.
Like Richard says it all the time. You give everybody the same amount of money, the same people are going to get rich again, the same people are going to get poor. But like you said, just that freedom of knowing like, okay, I'm in control of my future and I have a way out if I make these decisions. All you have to do is just get early. If you catch one, like people talk about like 10,000x, like for example, in Hex, like no one caught a 10,000x in Hex. No one bought the bottom and sold the top. And even if they did, it didn't go up 10,000x. It was like 93, you know, it was whatever.
And they staked it, most of it.
Yeah, but either way, but people talk about like the 1,000x, the 10,000x, and it's like, that's possible. Don't get me wrong. But in crypto, all you have to do is you put in small money, you get a 30 to 40x cash sit, you get an early again, another 20 to 25x on that bigger bag. Now it's a massive bag. And then you're talking maybe like you turn 1,000 into 6 figures. And then with 6 figures, you can just, all you have to worry about is getting a 10x now. And the next thing, you know, like it's really easy.
Once you get 6 figures in crypto, the game is almost just like, it changes because when you look at the numbers and you're like, well, I have to protect myself in one way or the other, right? If you put all of it in Cardano, you're going to look for a 99% dump. You still might hit all-time highs, but then you start thinking about how can I preserve some of this in a better way or a more efficient way. I forgot what I was thinking about, but I have to do something. So, so guys, I do crypto in the evening every once in a while, and Bullish put together this little clip. So I just want to play it because I think it's really cool. So tomorrow, Sam, and I think you should try to make time for this. Jack Levin actually hit me up and he was like, I really enjoyed our show and I want to do a separate show on longevity or a separate episode. And I said tomorrow at 6 p.m. and he said, let's do it.
That's Wednesday?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yep. So we're going to go on with Jack. And this is the little teaser before we get into the video on, I want to pay my respects to this dude that lost all his money in Voyager. So he has like a 2-minute clip. Let's pay our respects. 400 grand. Took a big L, and he's man enough to do videos every day trying to help people not make the same mistake, guys. But here's the little clip. Crypto in the evening.
Oh, that's a cool clip.
Hey guys, Nick Pasqualetti here, and just want to give everyone kind of my backstory and how I've been affected from the Voyager shutdown. So a little bit about me. I grew up in Cincinnati my whole life. I've always played games. I love spending time with my family. From an Italian household, and you know, family's a really important part of my life. Kind of growing up, you know, being in video games and whatnot, I got into the realm of IT, and that escalated into learning about Bitcoin. I was working at a place called LeadEck, and one of my coworkers by the name of Josh introduced me to Bitcoin and kind of the whole realm of cryptocurrencies. And, you know, I was young, so I figured, you know, I might as well throw a couple $100 in it and see where it goes. And this was back in 2017 of the last bear cycle. So I put $200 in, and within the next couple of months, I saw $200 go down to 100. And at that time, it was a lot of money for me, and it was my first awakening to losses, you know. Because every time I heard about Bitcoin, I've ever heard about Ethereum or anything about cryptos, I always heard it only goes up, you know. And this is me being naive, and I thought I would only put in a couple $100 and I'd be a millionaire, right? Time goes on, and I start learning a little bit more about IT and finances, and, you know, I start maturing. I got into IT space when I was about 18 years old, and I'm 24 now. So, you know, after I started learning a lot more about cryptos and finances, I started putting my money into, you know, better investments. So I racked up about $10,000, and it was 2019 going into 2020. And I was out in Korea, and I came up with the idea that I put all $10,000 into the market. Bear in mind, I did have other money to, like, you know, have as emergency fund or as an emergency fund. But I still thought, you know, now's a good time. The market cycle's down, and I'm going to put $10,000 in. I'm going to see where I can take it. Bear and balloon, or bear and behold, whatever you want to say. I brought the 10,000 up to 40,000, and I thought I was rolling. I was going nuts. I was telling everyone, like, holy shit, y'all got to get into crypto. And this was, I mean, probably early 2020, right? So this is around the time COVID was happening. And then the first COVID hit occurred, and I lost $30,000. I was back down to square one. So I was worried with all my friends, like, oh man, like, what are we going to do? And, you know, since I knew it was such a big dip, I just said, all right, let's just diamond hands. Let's go up to the moon. Let's see where it goes. And we rode that $10,000 all the way back up to 40,000 and beyond. You know, we went from 40 to 80, from 80 back down to 40, and from 40 all the way up to 200, and then from 200 down to 100, and then 100 all the way up to 400. Okay, and this was within the time span of like a year. So I was about 22, 23 at the time. You know, I moved out from my parents' house, and I was just living a happy life. You know, I thought I finally made it. You know, all these rumors about Bitcoin being, you know, a great investment paid off. And it was sometime in 2021, Elon Musk sent out a tweet that tanked the market. Now, I thought this would just be another, you know, quick little dump, and that would be it. And it wasn't. It was kind of the beginning of the bear market, and things started going down. And that's when I got into leverage trading, and I started getting a bad problem. You know, I was gambling with my money at that point.
Does get
if anyone
problematic.
knows, you know, $400,000 can take you so far, and I didn't realize that because I was blinded by it. And I rode that 400,000 all the way down to 100,000 in a couple of months. And it seems to be like a common theme where I make this money, I lose it. I make this money, I lose it. And I haven't learned from it. Right?
Solved that.
So after it went down to 100,000, I made the decision that I need to learn. Like, I'm done losing money. I need to learn. And I put all that $100,000 into Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I wanted to get interest on it. So this is where it comes in. I learned about Voyager. I've already traded Voyager in the past. I've already made money from it.
Found the
That was one
money.
of my biggest
Found the money
investments
hole.
in the past to bring that 40,000 all the way up to 200,000. So I said, all right, I'm gonna be safe. I'm just gonna leave my money in there forever, and it's gonna be fine. You know, I'll be good. No. It was the worst decision I ever fucking made. That 100,000 went down to 30 or whatever because of the market. And I thought if I just left it in there and never looked at it, it would eventually rebound and I have my money back and whatever. I shouldn't have left my money in Voyager. Left all my life savings in the bitch. And today they came out with a newsletter saying that you can't withdraw, transfer, or deposit any funds.
Whoopsies.
So my money's stuck in there. The last time I looked, it's probably been a month, and I've had $30,000 just stuck in there. It's stuck. It's gone forever. I've gotten a few of my friends into Voyager, and I told them to pull out their money today. I was telling them to wait until today to pull out their money because I knew things were going to happen. After seeing 3AC, after seeing the temporary contract that they had, I forgot what it was. After seeing the permanent contract, I could see that they're getting acquired. I could see that they're getting sold out. I knew something was up, and I told everyone, after you get your interest, pull out, and we'll go on to another platform. Wild to believe that same fucking day, they shut down everything. No one could pull out any fucking money, and everyone's stuck. Everyone's stuck. I lost 30,000. My friend just lost 15. My girlfriend lost 10. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? And then I find out that the FDIC insurance is just a scheme that Metropolitan is a fucking bank that needs to pretty much blow up before we even get our FDIC insurance, and they've been putting the scheme out the whole time. Like, what the fuck? It's sick. People like me, people who are having this dream and aspiration to, have a future, you're fucking us over, okay? I can come back, I can bounce back, but other people can't, all right? And that's why I'm making this video, is because I'm trying to have a voice for all these motherfuckers who can't. My friend Adam, he can't make that money back real quick, okay? That's like 5 fucking years of hardcore grinding to get it back. And you just said, oh, by the way, we're just going to stop all transfers. This is your fault for doing too much fucking leverage, not being transparent with your customers or clients, and destroying everyone's fucking life. You are doing some shady ass business, and this is what happens. It's disgusting. I'm praying for everyone out there who's going through this. This is my story. I know this is my first time making a video, so hopefully the beginning was good. I just feel for everyone out there, man. I had to go to tell my dad the story, and I was bawling my eyes out. Growing man-to-man conversation, bawling my eyes out about what the fuck happened. And he told me probably the best advice I've ever gotten, and I'll hold that for another video. But thanks for tuning in. I wish everyone the best of luck with this thing. I know so many people that have been affected, and I really hope this all gets resolved, guys.
Wow, that is a very heartfelt story. That
Thank you for being honest, Mr. Guy. Thank you for being honest.
That goes through a lot. I was feeling that when he was going through that, and we've
all been there.
But when you pull in other people that you care about, like I'm okay. Ooh. You know what I mean? But when I like tell my girlfriend or my friends to do something, and then they get fucked over because they listen to me, I don't care if I get fucked over because I made the decision to get fucked over. But when people depend on me to make intelligent decisions, and then based on my insights, they get fucked over. That's really not that. That is far more hurtful to me than me getting fucked over, because I'm good. Like, I'll fucking figure this shit out. But when you bring in your girlfriend and your buddy who doesn't make a lot of money, and it takes him years and years and years to get to $15,000, fuck. That's not a good feeling. That's not a good
Bit Finesse, $20 super chat. This young man would learn wealth building skills and tactics from RH and Anton Krill. Bon voyage. Let's get him on this show ASAP and make sure he is clinically aware of the best immutable yield producing smart contract.
Jenkins, what do you think of that video, bro?
It's sad. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's sad. It really is. It's sad, and that sucks. I mean, it's like it goes two ways, because like crypto's like the way out, but I also I always tell people around me, like, your crypto bag, like, it's your future, but also you always have to have something outside of crypto, because you just got to pretend if all crypto rug pulls one day and it all disappears, like, what do you have left over? You have to have some emergency left over to kind of pick yourself back up. But it's sad. It's unfortunate. It sucks. I know the feeling. Being a trader for so many years before, coming across, Richard Hart and Hex in 2019, 2020 or whatever. It's not a good feeling. I wasn't losing money at that type of scale, like tens and hundreds of thousands with trading up, but losing a few thousand here and there and building up an account, turn $500 in a.
Do you have any insight on that mental part of it though? Like, because I mean, you mentioned to me that, I mean, you seem like you're a little more stable, like in the way you think. I know that you do a lot of fun trading, but you generally say it's 5%, 10%, like, you know, all that kind of shit, like like the way you are supposed to present information. What do you think about the mental illness side of it? Like for me personally, like I have problems controlling myself. Period. End of story. It doesn't matter. Like I'm not the guy that wants to do cocaine like a once off. You know what I mean? Like some guys could do that. They could go do a party drug or hang out and do. I stay away from certain things because I'm very just nuanced insight on my mental. What have you ever had experiences with that like ravishing mental feeling that you actually like wake up in the morning with, where you want to trade, you want to do something?
And they call that like revenge trading. You take a loss and you want to get it right back. It's the worst time to trade a revenge trade. You're trying to get slammed even worse, and it messes with your mental. But like it sucks. I've been there plenty of times. But like I always tell people, the best way to experience it without experiencing it is if you've ever had a girlfriend or a girlfriend's ever had a boyfriend, and you went through heartbreak, and you just have, you know, like you feel like something's missing every day. Like even though you might be doing whatever you're doing, like if you go for a normal walk, it's not a walk because your mind's consumed. Like there's just something weighing down on you. But like heartbreak from a relationship's way less painful than the heartbreak from the markets taking your money. And it sounds crazy, but it's so true. Like there'd be nights where, you know, like I would be trading late at night and I didn't get out of my trade as soon as I wanted to. You know, now I'm negative by 10% of my portfolio, 20, 30. I'm like, I'm not taking that loss. I'm going to go to bed with this. And I couldn't fall asleep because, like, you know, I get in bed, my wife's there and she feels me. She knows like my heart's beating, like I'm a little too fidgety. So she'll wake up like, what's going on? And she'll kind of know. Like I've had like 4 to 5 of those scenarios in the past 7 years between like 2015 and 2019. I've had like 4 to 5 of those scenarios where I couldn't physically go to sleep. I'd wake up and it would be it would take so much strength for the day to not check the chart because I know it's not going the way I want to go it. And then, you know, you go to bed down 30, 40%, you wake up and you're like, oh shit, I'm at 80%. But once you get to that like 80, 90% threshold, the broker they liquidate you. They take your money. They don't give you the option at that point. It's like, oh, boom, now your account's washed and there's nothing you can do about it, you know? Like I've had an account that had, I mean, not to be too personal, but like, you know, like 10 grand, let's just say roughly around 10 grand washed to like $90 the next morning. It sucks. And trust me, like I'll trade like not even 1% of my portfolio leverage trading. Like I'll do like a $300 account, flip it to like 1,000, take the profits. But if I have a $300 account and I take a $100 loss, that still affects you no matter where you get at in life. Just the method of actually trading, you're never going to get accustomed to taking losses like that. But anything involving your money, it's just not safe. It's not smart. It's not healthy. But at least with this guy, I can only imagine because at least with me, like I was saying, like my losses were just from me doing irresponsible things. His loss is more of like he just got fucked and locked out like that.
Yo, if I made my girl lose 10K, I'd break up and just move. I would just be like, I gotta move. I'd just be like, because it's not even about paying them back at that point. It's just like you failed as a leader. Like, you know, like it's like you failed as a leader. And I think one of the hardest parts about all of that is like I present myself in a way that people can't attack me. I'm very aware of like what I can and cannot say. It's not very difficult for me to like pitch the things that I believe in because I truthfully study this stuff and I truthfully look into it all the day. So I'm pretty clear on what I like and dislike. In this space, though, there's really not that much that is good. Like it's like most things at a 95% dip is going to liquidate you 100%. And I feel like people are just starting to realize this again. Like it's just
depending on leverage too. Like if however much leverage you have, all it takes is maybe a 10% dip to liquidate you. I mean, I was trading Ethereum the other day and, you know, I was doing my thing in my profits, but like the Ethereum went down 2% in the day and I was going to buy and I was like, yeah, if I don't take my loss now, I'm going to get smashed. It was actually that bounce. I was buying it early in July because I was expecting this bounce, but then it dropped down to like 1,000 again. It was around like 1,200. So I took the buy and then it dropped down like 2%. I was like, yep, there we go. I took my loss, withdrew all my profits. I haven't traded since because I'm like, I already know how that goes. You know, I've learned this. And like, it's only like a few $100 at a time. Like I basically trade to buy these soccer. I take a profit and I just withdraw it and I buy a soccer jersey or something. You know, it's just kind of bullshit money.
I used to trade options. And that's actually how I bought this house or whatever. But I would trade, and then I would take profits, and then I would invest those profits. But so I'd only allow myself like 5 to 10K to trade with. And I've lost 5 to 10K multiple times doing that. It's not a fun journey. One time I was using Robinhood to trade with, because options, a lot of brokerages would charge you like a fee to trade, but then they also charge you an option per contract fee, where Robinhood, they didn't charge you any of this. So it was a lower like break even to trade on. And I wake up and I look at because I was at the gym, and then I look at it after I got out after 9:30 when the market's open, and it says, "Oh, you're negative $192,000." And I was like, "Oh,
that is, they'll make you shit your pants, like for
no,
real.
I didn't know what the fuck. I was like, "Oh fuck!" And that's what happens when you use. So options are hugely massive leverage, like fuck loads of leverage. Like you can get like leverage to like
It's all regulated though, bro.
$100,000 position with a tiny fraction. You can get exposure to $100,000 equity with like a tiny little bit of exposure, and
it's brutal. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. But that's why like when I talk to people, like on my platform, I joined Twitter last year because I felt the need to, basically share Hex with the world. I just felt like Hex was getting the unfair treatment from the general crypto market. It was special. Richard Hart, his education was special before the outrage marketing and stuff. It still is, don't get me wrong, but it's diluted a little bit. But like that's why I joined Twitter, because I was like, wait, this is one thing. I never really got my friends or family into crypto or definitely not trading. It was just too much. But like when Hex came around, I realized the power of staking, the mentality that it kind of implements into you by just avoiding all the nonsense. It's like it's an easy on-ramp into the markets. Staking your money, avoid all the BS, avoid learning the hard way. You can, like right now, everybody's sitting through a 93% dip in a bear market, but I promise everybody, this is the easiest dip you'll feel of your life if you're staked. Because imagine having the power to sell that bag, or imagine being liquidated because you're leverage trading that. Like, this is not bad. So, but like, yeah, like with the markets and stuff, I felt like Hex was the easiest way to get someone new into a market without feeling all that pain. But like when people look at me now and they think like everything's all good and gravy, like it's been a smooth ride. Like, no, like the pain of the markets it was like 3-4 straight years of just pain, loss, more money, go work, put more money in because I'm not getting anything out. I make a few thousand, I get, that 1,000 liquidated back to square one. Like the pain of the markets made me who I am today. And I just like with Hex, it's smooth, but like I don't want people to think that it's simple. Like for me, it's simple now because of my journey, and I kind of know how to leverage myself without relying on anybody else or anything else, thanks to DeFi. But it's like, no, you're gonna go through some shit in the markets. You're going to. But if this bear market is what you're going through for the first time and you're staked in Hex and it sucks, and you've seen your portfolio go from 5K to 220K back down to 13K right now, like just know like it can be way worse. You own your coins, you're in control of your coins. No one can lock you out from selling those coins outside of you being dishonest to your stake, which was your own decision. Like everything about Hex really made me feel the need to come on to the social media world and start streaming about it. But it's like, yeah, if you really want to talk crypto outside of Hex, it's really nasty. It's a nasty place, and it can get real bad for people if you don't approach it the right way. And even if you approach it the right way, it's going to get bad regardless. You're not going to avoid all the tough times in crypto. But like Hex, just protect yourself. Not financial advice, just protect yourself.
Nicely said.
I think that's a good way to start to wrap up, guys. Thank you so much for the amazing hour. That was incredible. We're keeping the shows tighter now just for the sake of everything, and we're doing it every day. So Jenkins, thank you so much for everything you do for
Dude, I love
community. Thank you for streaming. Thank you for showing people the right way to trade if they're going to, because let's be honest, people trade. Like,
shouldn't trade.
Yeah, don't even do it.
They do. They
I
love
want
to
to be the
trade.
guy that showed him to do it. Like I'll talk about charts now, but it's like just don't trade. Just don't do it.
But you'll say if you're gonna do it, like it's like you're gonna, like it's clear what your point is. Like this is it. We're in a bear market. Like if you're trading, there's huge.
If you're gonna analyze a chart, here's a good way to do it. But it's like, just don't. Just no matter how smart you are, your money's gonna control you if you allow it to.
Yes, mentally, you want to be free from all that, and that's I think the most important thing. The freedom you get from learning about all these things intimately is really great, and not presenting information that you feel like it hurt people. Like it's important. If you're a YouTuber, you have to be safe about what you're telling people. There's young guys that listen to this shit. Like, I'm not going to tell them to do crazy shit. Like, and I'm not saying, but I also say the truth about stuff. Like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to tell them, honestly, I'm learning about providing liquidity now. And there's a lot of misconceptions that I've learned over the last couple of weeks about providing liquidity. That's just stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of information that can be brought across, but like, I don't have to be like, oh, I'm doing it all right now myself. Like, but like Sam, for example, like he's gone in that process enough where he has actually done it and is showing people his relationship with that. And that's just because he's been in the market a lot longer. I'm going to stop fucking talking, guys. Everybody follow Cosmo Jenkins on Twitter and on YouTube. I'm going to drop both his links below. Sam, you have any closing words? Jenkins, you have any closing words?
Jenkins, go ahead, sir.
Closing words, just to kind of round up what you're saying. If you want to practice liquidity providing, obviously Sam's a good guy for that. But the testnet, just use the testnet. Mess around with that. If you fuck something up, it's fake money. So the testnet's there. Like, I think people are taking that for granted. So if you're trying to just get familiar with DeFi and what basically a better version of Ethereum is, just use the testnet now while the bear market's beating the hell out of people, and get yourself prepared, because it's gonna be here soon before we know it.
And whether it's liquidity providing or something else, whether it's investing into yourself, whether it's like buying books or coaching or courses or whatever that thing is, there's a belief in people to like not spend the money because they don't think they're going to get the value from it, right? They're like, I'm not going to get $100 from this course or this call or whatever the case is. And then take a step back, perspective, and realize that you fucking waste $100 on dumbass shit that gets you zero effing fucking value, right? So like in crypto, in my opinion, it's worthwhile to do things like that so you can test for yourself, because going through that experience is going to be so much more valuable than the 17 other things you're going to put $20 into or $100 into that just bring you absolutely zero value into the future. That's all I had to say. You guys can check out the links down below. GRC, you want to take us out of here with some DeFi proof outro here?
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker.
With your heart. With your heart.
Bought my hex from the fucking start. .1 every day we mark. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the hex, he is mooning. Looking at wives they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pull chains out, now get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this post, I ain't letting go. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart.